Hey everybody, it's Peter, and in this video we're going to do a complete in-depth review of the Vespa Product Red, and we're also going to compare it to a red Vespa. So to do that, we're here at Jim Gilbert's Wheels and Deals, and we want to thank Jim Gilbert's Wheels and Deals for giving us complete access to their entire vehicle line, including Vespa scooters. So if you have questions about the Vespa scooters that I don't answer in this video and you want to know more, let me know in the comments below and hit subscribe, because I can answer you both in the comments and in future videos, because Jim Gilbert's is going to allow me access to these anytime I need them to make sure I can help you. So let's get going with this review. First of all, Vespa Product Red. The Product Red aspect of this, I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can look into that. It is a charity, and there's a whole bunch of ways you can learn more about that I won't describe in this video. But I do want to go over some of the differences between the Product Red and a red Vespa. Now, first of all, this is a Primavera and that is a Sprint. They share an engine. They are very, very, very similar, but there are some differences just between Primavera and Sprint. And I did a complete video on this in the past, but the key differences are the Primavera has a round headlight, that has a more hexagonal shape or square type headlight. You have different shaped mirrors. These are round, those are a little bit more elongated. You have a different rail back here, which we'll show you a little bit later, more on that. And that is the basics of the differences between them. Now you'll still see the Product Red has red wheels compared to black wheels, and we'll go over a few of the other differences as well. But let's get going with a review on this model right now. So the key visual difference to the Product Red is obviously the seat. We mentioned those wheels as well, but we're going to talk about what it's like to live with this scooter, what it is, what it's not, and we'll show you a couple other tweaks that are real subtle things that are different in the Product Red versus the regular red vehicle. So first of all, this is available as a 50cc or a 150. You can see I'm about 6 feet tall. It does sit high on the center stand, so it looks like I'm way off the ground, but once you get off the center stand and it sags on the suspension, you'll see it's much lower to the ground. But even at 6 feet tall, there's tons of room here for a full-size adult, and you can take a passenger, whether it's 50cc or 150cc. So you have a lot of comfort on a vehicle like this, and it's a lot of fun to drive around. The bright red makes it really visible. People talk to you about it. It's pretty cool. So we're gonna talk about some of the practicality as well, because there's storage in here that you wouldn't expect in a typical motorcycle, both in here, and I wanna show you how much and how it works, because it's really practical. So the only Product Red label that you see is right here, and it's the only one that says Product Red. On the front, we'll show you the different label at the front, because it's a little bit different, just says red. But to get to the storage, we're going to turn this key one notch and press the key in, and this pops out. Now, this is a great little storage area for something like your cell phone, or something like your wallet, your sunglasses, those kind of things. And what's nice is if you do put your cell phone in here, you've got a little USB port right there. So that little piece pops up, and you can plug a USB into there to keep your cell phone charged. So nice little storage area, the kind of thing you're going to use every day for just your basics. The next storage area is one that Vespa is famous for, but it's a little different on this 50cc than it would be on a 150. So the 50cc has a little keyhole right here. If you wanted the clean red seat here without that keyhole, that would be on the 150, where it has a little button to pop it remotely. This one here has the key. So we're gonna stick the key in, we're gonna pop it like that, and you have all kinds of storage down here. Now what's cool about that is you can see on the left side of your screen here, there's a little bit of a carve out. It can fit usually a 3/4 face helmet in there, depending on the helmet, sometimes a full face, but really just 3/4 face, half face helmet, the type of helmet you would typically wear on a scooter. Now what's cool as well, and one thing that people don't point out, is there's a little tab right here and a little tab right there, which you can sort of see a little bit easier on the far side there. What that can do is hold the D-ring that helps fasten your helmet, and you can hang your helmet on the outside here, which means you still can save this space as a lockable storage area for something when you're going into a store. So you can lock your helmet on there through the D-ring, you can lock your gear in there, both when you're traveling and if you wanted to leave it in there when you're not traveling. Now, another cool thing about this Vespa Red is what comes inside. So let's just show you some of that. This is the bag that usually contains the owner's manual. Let's just pull the camera out and show you what's in this bag. So the first thing you have in the bag that's unique to this Product Red Vespa is this little bag here. Now I'm going to keep it in the bag here. I'll show you a picture here of what that actually looks like when we take it out of here. I just want to make sure that I keep this protected for the future owner of this vehicle. So we'll set that aside as well. And then you get your typical stuff from Piaggio, which is just your warranty booklet like this. That is, again, in every Vespa. But then you have a little bit of extra special stuff. The first thing you have is your owner's manual, and it is set apart for the Vespa Red model. Now, it is the same owner's manual inside, but it does have a special cover. What you do get that's actually special is this right here, sort of a collector's edition type thing. And when you get a Vespa, Vespas are special, and the different style of one over another can make it really unique. So I don't want to break the binding or anything on this, but this is a very cool product red explanation book that also has a lot of cool pictures of your Vespa. So it's just kind of a cool mix of what Vespa is, along with the product red stuff. And again, that would be a real collector's edition type thing that's exclusive to this model. So something that kind of comes extra and pretty cool with this model is this. Jumping back to this trunk storage area, something to be aware of is on the Vespas, you can actually lift this tray out and you can see the motor down below. So for servicing and everything like that, that's super simple. The other thing is your fuel fill is right here. And we talked about this bar right here. On the Sprint, it comes down here and connects to the bottom and comes down. Same thing comes up around here and connects down. On the Primavera, it comes all the way around, which gives you a little bit extra grab handle for your passenger, but this is helpful as well when you're putting it on the center stand, which is what I have it on right now, which holds it straight upright with a 2-prong kickstand. Taking a look at the speedometer on this vehicle, you can see it goes to 80 kilometers an hour. Now the vehicle's not going to top out at 80 kilometers an hour, maybe if you were going downhill or something like that, but this 50cc, around that 50, 60 kilometer an hour mark is where you're going to be typically driving. So the 50cc is really an in-town vehicle. That 150cc can take you up to around 100 kilometers an hour. It has a speedometer that goes to 140 kilometers an hour, and that's going to allow you to have a little bit more power for the country highways. Now, if I turn it on, I feel like there was one missed opportunity. They didn't change the backlighting from the traditional Primavera, which is blue here. You could have done a red back lighting, which I think would have been cool, but I understand why they didn't do it. But again, very clear, easy to read information there. There's trip A, I think trip B as well. Let's just cycle through here. Trip A, trip B, and your total kilometers down here. And that's about it in the dash, with a fuel gauge as well and a clock. So nice and simple stuff. If we turn the signals on, which we'll show you in a second, you have that single signal light button right there. If you turn your high beams on, you have the high beam light right there. We'll talk about the headlight in a second as we get around. We're also going to speak about the brakes, and I want to show you a couple things on the controls. All right, left side controls on a motorcycle. This is traditionally your clutch lever, but on a scooter, it's your brake. So it's a lot like a bicycle. This is your rear brake, whereas the other side is your front brake. You have a horn down here, you have signal lights there, so we turn on the signal like that, we cancel the signal like that, and then you have your high beam and low beam right there. Nice, good switch here on the chrome, and again, brake lever instead of clutch lever. We'll show you the other side and talk about driving this vehicle. Driving a 50cc scooter is a lot like driving an e-bike. It's very, very simple. So again, braking is just like a bicycle. This is your front brake over here. This is a motorcycle kill switch, so that can turn it off instead of just using the key to turn it off. You can just kill it right there from your thumb. It's actually a requirement by motorcycles to have this. Over here, that mode button there is what I use to cycle between your trip A, your trip B, and your odometer, and this is how you start it. That's your start button right there. Cool thing about driving it is it's twist and go. There is no gear shift, no changing, so it's an automatic transmission, CVT transmission to be specific, and like I said, just twist and go, easy to drive. Taking a look at the front of the scooter here, we'll show you a few more pictures of the front here, but here's your Vespa Red. Again, doesn't say product red like it does on the other side, just Vespa Red up front. Now let's show you the headlights here. To turn the headlight on, you have to turn the vehicle to the on position, and you can see that bright white LED headlight, and it is just the top half. Now it's not shining at the camera, which is why it doesn't look super bright, but you can see here when I go into the high beam as well, right there, it shows you that the lower high beam there is lit. So having the very bright LED headlight gives you just very good clean light to see. It's much better than a traditional older Vespa. And of course the white light, one of the big benefits of a white light is not just in its brightness, but the color is closer to daylight, which means that your eyes are going to recognize what you're seeing at night a little quicker. Now I'm going to try to pan down without cutting here, just to see if we can do that nice and cleanly, so excuse my poor camera work. As we pan down here, these are very difficult to film, but both sides here have 3 little LED lights right there, and you can sort of see them shining on my hands maybe a little bit. They are harder to film than they are in real life. They're actually quite bright. Those are sort of like your daytime running lights. Down here behind the chrome, that's your horn grill, so your horn sitting behind there. And let's go down one more time. On the Primavera, you have this little extra silver styling piece that you don't have on the Sprint. So another just way to identify the Primavera versus the Sprint. Now I want to show you these wheels, but I also want to show you the braking system on them because there's something that's pretty cool down there as well. One of the really cool things about Vespas is they don't have the dual fork. In other words, a bar down here and a bar on the other side, like a traditional motorcycle or like a lot of other scooters. And that allows you to have this automotive style wheel showing through here. We'll show you the other side because that's important to show you as well. But on this product red, it really allows you to show off those red wheels here, which again are unique to this product. Taking a look at the other side of the exact same wheel, this is how your suspension system works. Now this piece is a bit of an anti-dive technology. So if you've ever jammed the brakes on a mountain bike or a motorcycle with like soft suspension that really dives, this will help prevent some of that. You have a disc brake in the back, a vented disc brake, just like a vehicle. Actually, it's a lot like a motorcycle. Those drilled holes, they help dissipate heat. This one does not have ABS at 50cc. You can get front ABS on, or it's come standard on the 150cc. So for the speed you're going, not a huge concern to someone like me. I don't think would be a huge concern. But what's interesting here is being product red on the normal Primavera, the red one we just showed you, or the normal, sorry, not the normal Sprint that was red. This spring was red on the other scooter that we showed you at the beginning of the video. And they could have made it red here, but they chose to go black. So just an interesting styling detail. That is certainly a standard part in red, and they went black with it here on the product red. Taking a seat on the Vespa, a couple things I'd like to show you again. There's that headlight there and that high beam there. Again, not directly aimed at the camera, but they look pretty cool. They give good visibility. Now, a lot of time when you see a new vehicle in pre-production form, the designers don't like to show mirrors because they feel like mirrors take away from the lines of the vehicle. But what's cool about the Vespa is the mirrors are also that retro design. And retro designs, they didn't worry about style, although they did with the Vespa. They worried about practicality. So both these mirrors, you can see they're well clear of my shoulders. A lot of motorcycle mirrors are kind of in close. They're hard to clear your shoulders. So when I'm driving here, I don't see my arms at all. They see directly behind me, which contributes to safety as well. And both mirrors are actually, objects in mirror are closer than they appear. They are the wide angle mirrors that are traditionally only on the right side of your car. They're both slightly wide angle. And because they're up and close to your face, the closer a mirror is to you, the wider angle it's going to give of the traffic behind you. So these are very safe mirrors. You have great visibility ahead, around, and behind on these Vespa scooters. So is this right for you? Well, one of the things I love about this product red is obviously they have that charity aspect to it where you support that. But in addition to that, you get some of those custom pieces, the custom wheels, the custom things that really make it stand out from a regular Vespa. You get that extra little booklet in here, which is a really collector's item type piece. And a Vespa should stand out. It shouldn't blend into the background. So having this really cool red seat, everything about this stands out. The bright red color, the bright chrome, it looks really cool. But the benefit of this 50cc is it can be right for a lot of people. Here in New Brunswick, you can drive this on a regular vehicle license. If you're 14 years old instead of 16, you can actually do a test and drive this at 14 years old. So you have something that can be practical. It can add a vehicle to your life that's fun, that's efficient, and it looks super cool. If you've ever wanted to own an iconic vehicle and a Porsche 911 isn't available to your price range, this is something that can fit that. They're a lot of fun, and they're really cool. If you want to see Vespas in person, we have the entire product line here at Jim Gilbert's Wheels and Deals, Jim Gilbert's Power Sports. And even though I'm filming this in January, the showroom is absolutely full. I think there's like 20,000 square feet of showroom inside that has all kinds of Vespas and other vehicles as well. You can see the entire product line. So if you want to come see it, make sure you swing by Jim Gilbert's Wheels and Deals. And if you have other questions, make sure you let me know in the comments below because I'll answer those comments in the comment section and in future videos. Thanks everybody for watching.